Good day everyone, this is Jaquette Setro welcoming you to Setro Fashion School channel or Setro Craft channel. Today I want to be teaching you how to arrive at your basic bodice pattern. Just your basic body, how you just cut out the pattern. You could sew for your friend, you could sew for yourself, you could sew for your customers once you have the pattern. So let's just get started. It's as easy as A and B and C. What are the measurement parameters you'll be needing? You'll be needing your bust measurement, your waist measurement, your hips measurement, your blouse measurement. If you're using a dress, you need your dress measurement and your across back, AB, that's your shoulder measurement or your back measurement. So for the purpose of this class, I'll be using shoulder or AB as some persons call it, 15 inches. Then I'll be using top to nipple, that's your shoulder to nipple, it's also shoulder to nipple. I'll be using 10 inches. Then I'll be using the bust, 40 inches. I'll be using half length, 17 inches. Now I'll be using waist, is your round of your half length. Using waist 38 inches. Then I'll be using blouse hips or dress hips, whatever you're making. Be using hips. It's 41. Then I'll be using blouse length 24 inches. So it's as easy as A and B and C. You could just get yourself measured and get out the measurement parameters you'll be using. You see, follow me and you get it very easy. The armhole, the round armhole, please. Round armhole is 18 inches. If you don't know how to measure the round armhole, please you can just check on my previous video on how to measure your armhole. It's as easy as A and B and C. I think you just have to watch it so that it will be pretty easy. So across back, already you know that this is your across back. This is your across back this way. Your across back measurements 15. Then your top to nipple measurements. Top to nipple is your bust point, you can see it's 10. Then your bust this way, you get your bust measured. The secret to having a fitted dress in fashion, the secret to becoming a great fashion guru, it's no other thing than taking the right measurement parameters. You could know how to sew very well, you could know how to create a style, but it's the end product that justifies. If you make a very good style, but your customer is not really pleased with the outfit, and it's not okay on the body, just like want to learn these bodies now, it did not fit the body of your customer very well, then it's not a good one. So you learn how to take your bust measurement this way, bust measurement this way, the bust here. I'm using, for this class, I'm using bust 40, then your half length this way, half length 17, then from that half length you take your blouse waist. Remember this is not skirt waist. You could check my previous videos for skirts, waist, and you learn how to measure this blouse waist, yes, or dress waist. Then you have your blouse hips. How do you get your blouse hips? Just get your blouse length, where you want your blouse to end, or if it's a dress. Remember, if the dress would go down, this could apply for a dress or a blouse. This for a dress. So this blouse hips, this for a blouse. So blouse hips, you can see the length of this my blouse is like 24 or thereabout. You now come to that. You take the hips of that point. Remember, if it's a peplum dress as I'm wearing, you don't need the blouse hips because the peplums will cover for that. But if it's a fitted top, you will need to take the blouse hips. So you could just make it free a bit, that or if you want it to be how you want it to be, just take that measurement. So for this, we're using 41 for the blouse hips, and with this, we are good to go. The straight line, our shoulder line, this way. Just draw it straight this way. So from this shoulder line right now, we are setting our shoulder measurements, our cross back. Our cross back is 7.5. That's your shoulder divided by 2, 15 divided by 2, 7.5 plus ½ inch sewing allowance, that's 8 inches, 8 inches this way. Then I want to achieve my neckline. For this video, I want to use 3.5 on the across back line, then vertically 3.5. You could use 3, you could use 4. It all depends on the type of neckline you want to achieve. I don't want to achieve a round neck. If you want to achieve a sweetheart neck, V-neck, various means of achieving them. So, but here I want to achieve this. Then you count this way. You get it 3.5 inches as well. 3.5 inches. So you use your ruler. Join the lines this way. Then you use your tape rule. You get 1 inch from this origin. Just get 1 inch this way. So with this, I could just use my curve tool and get out my round neck. It's as easy as A and B and C. So the next thing you do is what? Want to drop down the shape of our shoulder. Remember that the shape of the shoulder is slanting. You can see this way. It's not straight. The slantiness or the slope depends on the person you're making for. It could be by ½ inch, by 1 inch, by 1.5, but on the average you could use 1 inch. So I'll come to this shoulder line. I'll drop it down by 1 inch. And I'll ascertain it to the neckline point. Now we get our across back. We've gotten that before. It's this 8. Then you get your round armhole. If you don't know how to get your round armhole, you could just watch my previous video on how to cut out your armhole. It's very easy. It's online. You could just get it. So you get the round armhole I'm using is 18. So it's 9 on the half. That's the half armhole. But I want to cut it on 8.5, just ½ inch before. So I'll shape it when I get to the back. So you rule vertically this way. Then you get it this way. Remember, this is your chest line. Your chest, or the upper part of your bust. That's the chest line. So you're getting your armhole. You just get the half of this and go in a bit. Go lower a bit like this. The half is here, somewhat here. Then go in like by 2 inches, so making it 6. So you just want to get out the C curve of the armhole. So the C curve is just this way. So after this, you now measure your bust. You measure from shoulder to bust. Shoulder to bust is 10 inches. I'll add ½ inch for sewing allowance. Then half length is 17 inches, ½ inch for sewing allowance. Then our blouse length is 24 inches. 24 inches. So you can just draw out those lines. Add the bust line. This is your half length, and this is the dress line. So from this, we want to ascertain our various measurements. Remember the fabric. Assuming you're cutting on your fabric, this is just a pattern. The fabric is on 2-fold, so that's for the front panel, and back panel 2-fold. That's for you dividing by 4. All measurements divided by 4. So bust is 40. 40 divided by 4 will give us 10 inches. And remember, for this pattern, if it's a stretchy fabric you want to use, like lycra, you're not going to add any sewing allowance or darts. Doesn't need that because it's already stretchy. But if you're not using the stretchy fabric, you need to add your allowance for darts, 1 inch for darts, then 1 inch for sewing allowance. And if you're the type that like excess in your fabric. You could have more than 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So 1 inch plus 1 inch, that's 2 inches, one for that and one for sewing allowance. Then you come here, the waistline. The waist is 38. 38 divided by 4 give me 9.5. So plus 2 inches, that and sewing allowance. Then I now come to the blouse length. The blouse length, from there you get your blouse hip. If you want blouse length here, you get your blouse hip. It all depends on how free you want it to be or how firm. So I'll be using 41 inches. 41 inches for the blouse hips. So divided by 4, you're going to have 10.5. 10.5. Then you have 2 inches sewing allowance. What's the time? So with this, we're good to go. The shape, a body shape is already ready. You just connect your lines this way. So you just use your curve tool to curve out this place so that it doesn't have a sharp edge. And that's the shape of your body. Right now, taking your darts, it's very easy. On this bust point, you determine the nipple to nipple. Bust point, some persons call it across bust. Some call it nipple to nipple. So, nipple to nipple, I call it is 8. 8, you could use 8, you could use 10. So, but now I've decided to use 8, although I previously said 10. I'm using 8 divided by 2. That will give us what? 4. Then I add ½ inch, sewing that. So you get this line down to your waistline, then 3 inches away from the waistline. But if it's your dress, this is just for the bodies for your top. If the body is for your dress, you drop this line down to 20 inches. You drop this line down to 20 inches. Or thereabout. So for the dress. So with this, you're good to go. Remember, we're using 1 inch darts. So on this waistline, you just get ½ inch here on both sides. ½ inch on both sides. Then you draw out the shape. This, you've taken your darts and your top, your bodies is ready, or your dress. You can see the shape it's already out, so you can just cut out. Then from this, I'll just place my front on my back, then I'll get my back bodies. With this, your front body is ready. Then to get your back body, it's very easy. You just place this front on the back, you create your zip lines, and you're good to go. Right now, to get your back panel for your bodies, could be top, it could be dresses, you do what? You create an allowance for your zip, for your zipper. Could be 1 inch, it could be 1.5 inches, it could be 2 inches, it depends on your fabric. But remember as well, if you're using a fabric that is stretchy, you don't need zipper at the back because it automatically enters you by its stretch. So using 1 inch zip allowance, so just roll it across, bird. with this zipper lines, you now have this. Remember the back, it all depends on the back type of back you want to achieve. If you want to achieve same back, that means the front will be as low as the back. You use same measurements that you've used, 3.5 by 3.5. But if you don't want it, if you want a high neck like myself, so you could just drop it down by 2 inches. It will be same 3.5. Across back measurements for the neck panel will be the same, but it all depends on what you want to achieve the width, because you'll be joining the front and the back via the shoulders, so it's still same 3.5. So I will just make it 2 inches or 1.5 inches instead of the normal inch I have. So I could just make it 1 inch or 1/4 inch. So you rule it and curve it out, or 2 inches. It all depends on how low or how high you want it. You make it 2 inches. So you curve it. You have your shape this way as well. Then you curve it out. So curve it out this way. With this, you've gotten your back shape. One thing you have to note is that this across back position must be the same, because that's where you'll be joining the front panel to the back panel. So with this, you just draw out your normal measurements for the back. For the front panel, it's just same. You achieve it as you have it. You just affix a pin on it to cut it out. So you can see that the back neck is high. With this, you've achieved your back panel pattern, and you've achieved the front pattern of your normal bodies, your tops, your dresses. Remember, if it's dresses, it could go down. So if this video has been highly beneficial to you, please don't forget to like and to press the subscribe button so that I could bring out more enlightening videos to you. And remember, Sexual Fashion Online School is still on. You can get started and the learning continues without stop. So till I come your time, till I come your way next time, do have a lovely time. Bye bye.